Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and you saw that last week there was the tragic killing by the NYPD of Eric Garner, who was a married father of six. He didn't seem to be doing anything wrong except other than allegedly selling untaxed cigarettes, and the NYPD found that to be reason to put him in a chokehold and choke him till he's dead, and then not administer CPR to him, which, as you can imagine, produces a whole lot of legal ramifications. So to really understand the legal aspect of this, I spoke with Ken Williams, a retired police officer, who gave us the scenario from a police officer standpoint, but now I want to hear from an attorney. And so the attorney that I always talk to the most on these kinds of things is Damario Solomon-Simmons. He's out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've got Damario on the line. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing well, Dr. Watkins, as always. It's good to see you and good to be on the line with you.
Always. Same here, brother. Same here. Now, you know, I'll just start off with the simple question. When it comes to Eric Garner and what happened with him, between him and the NYPD, what went through your mind as a legal expert when you saw what occurred here?
First thing that went through my mind, there is no reason on any stretch of the imagination that an American citizen should be choked out and killed, put to death over some allegation of selling untaxed cigarettes. I mean, that is an outrage in a civilized society that can actually occur. That was number one. Number two, because I know that the NYC Police Department had outlawed chokehold since 1994 when there was another young man of color who was killed after being choked to death by an NYC police officer. And I just thought this was tragic. Tragic that a man, a father of six, a husband, a person that it looked like he was not even doing anything illegal, to be choked out on broad daylight and then not be helped while he laid there lifeless.
Yeah, they didn't even give him CPR, and it almost looked like they were pretending to help him and pretending that he was alive when everybody knew that he was definitely unconscious, maybe even dead. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the criminal implications of this. Who should be charged and what should they be charged with, based on your opinion?
Well, based on my understanding of New York State law, there, I think the officers should be charged with, going to be charged with a manslaughter charge, because I believe that I don't say they didn't intentionally try to kill him. I don't believe they went there to kill Mr. Garner, but I think the fact that you know that if you put someone in a chokehold, there's a very good likelihood that you will kill them, and therefore they definitely should be charged with a felony. I think in New York it's manslaughter in the first degree, which is the Class B felony, and it carries 5 to 25 years. And I think that's what's going to be charged. And I hope the investigation happens pretty swiftly. Obviously, Boyce, as I've always stated, I believe all people are innocent until proven guilty. Even though the officer, we can see that he's choking Mr. Garner on film, he still deserves an opportunity to go into court and defend himself. But I believe that justice will require that officer be convicted of that manslaughter and he be in prison for up to 25 years.
So you're talking about the officer that put him in the chokehold. What about the other officers? What do you think should happen to them, if anything?
Well, I think that they definitely should be disciplined for not helping Mr. Garner when they knew for a fact. They all should have known for a fact that chokeholds are illegal in New York City for police officers to do. So I think all of them broke the law. You can argue that they all are accessories to the crime of the manslaughter of Mr. Garner, and they all should receive some type of punishment. Definitely should get some type of punishment from a employer standpoint, as far as being employed by New York Police Department. And I think they should also receive some type of legal punishment, and I think they all should be liable in a wrongful death suit that's definitely going to come at some point in the near future.
Okay, so let's finish up the round then. What about the EMS workers who showed up after Mr. Garner was on the ground? Should they face any sort of criminal charge for what they did?
Well, I think if they have a duty, obviously, if they to be there to provide him with the best care possible, that's what they're hired to do as EMT workers. So if they did not fulfill their duties to the best of their abilities, as been reported so far, again, this is the facts that we have on the case. Again, I think they should be subject to some type of disciplinary action from their employer, but also they may be liable again for some wrongful death. That's hard to say. We don't know. We can't say that. I don't think you can charge them with a crime because they didn't actually kill or choke Mr. Garner. But again, I don't know what the New York statutes may say. They may be in breach of some type of New York statute that required that they provide him with the type of care that will be expected of an EMT worker.
Interesting. Okay, so now let's move to civil liability. So what happens now if you are, say, the wife of Mr. Garner and you are thinking about a civil suit? Who gets sued? How does that process go for you?
Well, a civil suit, obviously, a wrongful death suit will occur here. It will go against the police officers and also the police department. I think some are going to get hopefully a very good lawyer who's very skilled in these areas. This is something that you don't just come into and just one day you're doing probate cases, the next thing you're doing a wrongful death case. That doesn't happen in that manner. And I think they're going to allow the criminal investigation to play itself out. That's normally what happens in these cases. You usually have 2 years to file a negligence action. And so they have some time. Let the criminal investigation occur. That way you don't have to spend as much of your time or money trying to get discovery. And once those facts become more clear, then you know exactly who you need to sue and get a better understanding of what the case is going to look like.
Okay, final question. As a black man, as a concerned citizen who wants people to be safe, who doesn't want to see this happen again,
Right.
What needs to happen just from a procedural standpoint? I mean, it almost seems as though somebody dies from an illegal chokehold or from illegal police activity, and then it's business as usual.
Right.
What did you think that there's any fallout in terms of policy that can occur so that this doesn't happen to anybody else?
Well, I hope so. And I think it's two things we need to think about here. Number one, from a police, systemic, societal standpoint, the New York City police officers, they need to be better trained. Number one, on what is illegal. They need to have extensive training on not choking people. And then if they are found to have choked someone, they should be punished severely. They should be punished swiftly, and they should be punished to a standpoint that other officers say, we're not going to do this. This is illegal. This is dangerous, and this is not what we're taught to do. So I hope that occurs. Now we know that over the last several years there's been 9 other chokings that kind of been high profile in New York City, and out of those 9 cases, only 2 times have the officers had any real punishment. That cannot happen. So that's number one. We must have better training and better punishment when that training is not adhered to. But secondly, Boyce, and we've talked about this before, we got to make sure that our young men and our men in general have a clear understanding of how they have to react and conduct themselves when they are confronted with police activity or police contact. In no way possible should Mr. Garner be dead today. He should not have been choked. But at the same time, we have to realize and remember that unfortunately we're still dealing with a society and a criminal justice system that does not value black life at the way it should be. Therefore, our men and our women need to make sure they understand when you're dealing with police, yes, sir. No, sir. Do not resist, because if you resist, you can be killed. You can be shot, or if we say with Mr. Garner, we can be choked to death. Do not resist, because at the end of the day, when you have police contact, the most important thing is to get home to your family. Do not give them any provocation, any reason, any excuse to do anything harmful to you, because they will do it. It happens, and many times, if we say it, they do not get the type of punishment that they deserve when they do provide bodily injury to a black man or a black woman.
All right. Well, you said it best. Well, I want to say thank you so much for your time on this. I appreciate your expertise on this matter.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Boyce. I appreciate you having me on. And if any of your viewers want to follow up with me, they can go to my website, which is SolomonSimmons.com. That's SolomonSimmons.com.
All right. Well, you heard it from the lawyer that I respect more than anybody in the country, Damario Solomon-Simmons. And just in case you want to know, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World. And until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. We are gone. Peace.